Knife crime.
Knife crime.
Knife crime.
Knife crime.
Knife crime. Knife crime.
Knife crime.
Knife crime.
Tackle knife crime.
Okay, now. Okay. This.
Right. Producer, shut up! Stop! I've had enough of that. It's not realistic. It's not gonna... Listen up, before we get to grips with this video, then I'd like you to do me a massive favour. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, it's imperative that you do so. We need to build our numbers. We need to build our audience. It just means we can do more for you. Right, I'm getting on with it now.
What's up, guys? Mr. Obnoxious, Special Forces Navy SEAL Ranger here
Special Forces Navy SEAL Ranger. There you go, let's see what he's going to do.
to show you a couple knife defenses.
Knife defences, that's what we're talking with this geezer.
One in particular. Now, I'm just going to go full speed on this. So pay attention and hope you learn something.
Here we go.
Good.
On a serious note, right, on a serious note, if you are confronted with somebody with a knife and you can get out the way and put distance in between you and that blade, you get going as quick and as fast and as direct as you can. Bust. Let's have a look at this.
Here, officers have been told to investigate suspicious circumstances at night in a warehouse and react to what they find. At first glance, this officer's distance from the suspect looks safe enough. But an attacker can easily cover this distance faster than most officers can draw their guns. Remember, when you close the distance between yourself and the suspect, do so only by purposeful decision.
There you go. There is a rule to this, which we'll talk about later. 21 feet is all you've got. If you're inside of that, they're going to be on you quicker than you're going to be on them.
In fact, at close distances, your only realistic option for controlling a suspect is empty-hand tactics. Yet when officers are asked how they would control a knife attacker, they usually say, "I'd shoot him," forgetting that they may not have time to in reality. At about 5 feet, the average officer can't even get his sidearm unholstered. Unless your sidearm or baton is already out, you'll have to rely on physical control at 5 feet or less.
There you go. And I'm going to be honest now, right? You can see him bringing his knee up and down. Forget about that, all right? If you're not trained, if you don't do this stuff week in, week out, you will not be busting shapes like Chuck Norris, all right? You won't be doing that. You will not be doing that, I promise you, all right?
At about 10 feet, you might get your sidearm out, but you probably won't get a shot off.
I mean, I'm going to tell you as well with these sidearms, it is down to the way you holster it, the way you carry it, and the way it's made ready. And obviously American policemen ain't that good. That's the truth. Right.
A suspect with a knife can close 7 paces and deliver deadly force in less than 1 1/2 seconds.
There you go. So if you haven't got a gun, you haven't got nothing, have you? And even if you have got a gun, if you don't know what you're doing with it, you've got nothing.
For the average officer to deliver 2 rounds against an attacker who starts moving at 10 feet, the sidearm must already be drawn and ready to shoot. At about 15 feet, your chances get a little better if you're alert, anticipate danger, and are skilled with your equipment.
Perhaps. That is a perhaps as well.
But to deliver 2 rounds center of mass, your hand would already have to be on your sidearm when the attack begins. Tests with hundreds of officers reveal that in most cases...
21 foot. There you go, 21 foot. This, of course, is all hypothetical to anybody in the UK because you won't have a gun, so you won't have to worry about this. Just have to worry about getting out of the way.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at the first technique. Okay, so this one is primarily me waving.
All right, that's Victoria Park in London. Just a guess.
So I'm going to be, okay, this is a knife, yes, okay. So I'm in front of Azus, I'm waving it about, okay, I'm saying some type of rubbish, okay, and this is perfect really for Azus to do something. So
I'm just going to have my hands out here. I'm going to act passive, but really my intention is to get my hands as close to your hand as possible. And that's where I want to be, is this stance shows I don't want
I'm going to be honest with you, listening to some of these people is going to get you killed.
any trouble, whatever, and then anyway I can just grab and then do a nice wrist turn here lock the wrist, and eventually, lock the wrist enough, eventually, hand's gonna open.
You got more chance of Nelson getting his eye back than pulling that stunt if you haven't practiced it 1,000 times. And even if you have practiced it 1,000 times, the chances of pulling it off for real when the palms are sweaty, nah.
He's gonna either drop the knife or he's gonna fall over, or he's gonna give me a chance to run.
Bullshit. Run. That's the word. That's the key word in there. Run. Get out of the way. Get out. If you've got space behind you, get the fuck out of Dodge. All right?
When it comes to knives, I'm not gonna try to really grab the knife, because at the end of the day, I don't want to stab anybody myself. So it's a case of, you drop the knife, I'm out of there. I'm just going to run. But it's just a nice being able to turn that wrist. And eventually, as you turn the wrist, the grip on the knife gets much weaker. You'll either drop it or he'll drop to the floor if I do it hard enough. Hopefully.
Right. Producer, shut up. Stop. I've had enough of that. It's not realistic. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to work. All right. I'm talking about the average Joe Blogs who gets himself embroiled, his or herself embroiled in something that goes way out of control extremely quickly. Let's talk about that, shall we? Right. I need to control my own breathing before I even attempt to start talking to you about it. These people have riled me up so badly. So. Right. I've calmed down a little bit now. Seriously. We need to have a look and talk about what you can actually do if there's a marauding attack going around in your location where you are. Obviously, as I've alluded to, if you can get out of the way, if you can run, if you can get distance in between you and what's going on, that's your first priority. Get the hell out of there. If you can't, if you're banged up in a train, if your back's against the wall, if somebody's got you cornered, then the game stakes are slightly different. You've got two choices here. You do something about it, or you roll into the fetal position and let yourself die in agony. All right, that's the reality of it, okay? Think about the train. Think about the immediate surroundings of you on a train. There would have been luggage. There would have been laptops. There would have undoubtedly been fire extinguishers. There would have been people with all sorts of kit in their bags. Umbrellas, perhaps. All this stuff can be utilised. It can all be turned against attackers. It can all put up a barrier, which is what you're trying to do. If you can't stop them, you need to slow them down. It might be that you can't stop them on your own, but once one of you gets going with an umbrella, somebody else goes in with a laptop, somebody else clouts them with a bag, no one's taken a shoe off and stuck a stiletto in the back of their head, now you're starting to contain by mob. And that might be your only chance. But you've got no chance whatsoever if you just A, throw your hands up and accept it, or B, start filming it, because that's not going to help anyone, is it? History has time and time proven in these scenarios that one-on-one in a knife attack, you are A, going to get cut, B, going to get stabbed, or C, lose your life. Those are the only three real options that you've got. Unless you can manage to overpower the victim in any way, shape or form by A, utilising your surrounding objects, furniture, etc., or B, ganging up as a club and weighing into these people. I'll give you an example. My mother was in a pub with an extremely nasty attack about 20 years ago. Two guys came in to attack one guy. They were armed with a club hammer and a saw, and then what they were going to do was try and cut his leg off, unbelievably. The first person who saw them come through the door and knew what their intention was as they started attacking and trying to hit him with a hammer. He threw his arms up. There was not a lot he could do. He was caught in the corner. Somebody from somewhere threw a pool ball at him. That distracted him. Somebody else threw a chair. Now another chair came in, 2 or 3 glasses. And before you know it, these people were overpowered by the sheer weight of stuff being thrown and people charging at them with chair legs, and they had to retreat, they had to run off. A great example of what can be done. Now, I'm not going to advocate that anybody runs into a fight on their own. It's not my place to do so. But I can tell you that if you do nothing in these situations, you will end up a victim. If you look at the guy who stood up to the attackers in his latest attack, his hand is completely sived. He's been cut to pieces. He was knifed in the side of the head. He was knifed elsewhere 5 times. He did not escape unscathed. But what he did do was buy enough time for people around him to escape, for this guy to not be able to progress any further down the train, and eventually as the train stopped, other people got involved, and the thing, obviously, the guy tried to escape and the thing petered out as far as he was concerned. But he didn't get unscathed. He was seriously hurt and could have lost his life. when a knife is being wielded about by a maniac, or worse still, someone who knows what they're doing with it, the good chance is you're going to get severely hurt. Severely hurt. So, let's have the takeaway from this. The best defence is a fast pair of trainers, all right? The best defence is your two legs disappearing, make like a swastika, and you disappear up the road as quick as you can. That is the best form of defence. That said, if you are pushed into a corner, anything is better than nothing. And if you can't, anything is better than nothing it, then you're going to be dealing with the aftermath, which means you need to carry at least an IFAK. And if you've got an IFAK and somebody else gets attacked, and you happen to come upon a scene afterwards, then you've got something to help other people with. We will talk at some stage about improvisation of weapons, what you can carry legally, what you can't carry, what you could use, what you couldn't use. Lots of talk from people lately about different sprays, this, that and the other. We will cover that sort of stuff. But for now, we'll leave you with the truth, and that is run. And run as fast as you can and get yourself out of the way.